So men may think about suicide for a variety of reasons. They might be struggling with their mental health or going through a bad breakup. They may have been laid off by their job or be facing some financial hardship. And then to compound all of this, often men's difficulties are influenced by societal expectations of what it means to be a man, stigma surrounding mental health, and reluctance to seek help. Men may feel pressure to appear strong, independent, and in control, leading them to suppress their emotions and avoid seeking assistance when struggling with their mental health. And this can result in feelings of isolation, hopelessness, and helplessness, which ultimately can further contribute to suicidal ideation. Now, there are several warning signs that may indicate that a man is at risk of suicide, and these can include talking about feeling hopeless or trapped, expressing feelings of worthlessness or burdensomeness, increased use of alcohol or drugs, maybe withdrawing from social activities, changes in mood or behaviour, increased reckless behaviour, giving away possessions, or expressing thoughts of death or suicide. It's important to take these warning signs seriously and encourage the individual to seek professional help. Providing emotional support, listening non-judgmentally, and connecting them with mental health resources can be crucial in preventing suicide and promoting mental well-being. When bottled up inside, suffering often grows, but when shared, suffering tends to lessen. So if you're concerned about someone possibly thinking about suicide, keep an eye out for certain behavioural signs, such as them mentioning feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness, pulling back from social stuff, turning to substances more, acting differently, giving away possessions, or talking about death or suicide. These signs could indicate that they're struggling and might need help. Now, if you're noticing these signs, it is important to take them seriously and reach out to offer support to this person, maybe encourage them to talk to professional help. Just being there for them, though, and showing that you care can make a huge difference in helping them through a tough time. So if you're worried about a guy in your life who might be at risk of suicide, there are ways you can be there for them. Just being a good listener, being present and providing emotional support can make a huge difference. It's also important to remove any access to things that could be used for self-harm, such as medications or firearms. And don't forget to stay connected and available, checking in on them regularly and letting them know that you're there for them no matter what. And finally, remember to look after yourself. Supporting somebody who is suicidal can be challenging, so try to stay connected to and engaged in the things that fill your own cup up. Early intervention and mental health support are crucial in preventing suicide amongst men. By detecting warning signs early, these interventions can provide timely assistance to address any underlying mental health issues and offer coping strategies or treatment to help men navigate their struggles. By taking proactive steps to support men's mental well-being and address any challenges that these men may be facing, early intervention and mental health support can play a significant role in preventing suicide and promoting overall well-being. It's important to prioritise mental health care and offer support to men in need to ensure their safety and mental wellness. Imagine that our mind is like a pressure cooker, filled with all these intense emotions and thoughts. Now, if the pressure inside keeps building up without release, it builds and builds and builds and becomes overwhelming. But when you talk to someone, a friend, your partner, a therapist, or a trusted person, it's like releasing a little bit of pressure. It's not about fixing everything in one conversation, but about easing the pressure so that they can start to find ways to cope and get the help that they need. I think a great first step is talking to a GP. Right? So this can be in person if you've got a GP that you've already got a relationship with, or you can even access a telehealth GP if there's not one in your area. A GP is going to be able to get a sense of what might be going on for you and then link you in with other supports that can get you the help that you need. So I'd say that a really good first step is just see a GP and start the ball rolling on this whole thing. I think that when you're looking for mental health support, it can be a process, right? You might not vibe or, get a good rapport with the first person that you talk to. And if you're from a minority group, so maybe you're gender diverse or you're a new immigrant from a culturally or language diverse background, maybe you're an Aboriginal or a Torres Strait Islander person, then it can be really helpful to seek out specialised services. So there's a bunch of specialised mental health services for particular populations that kind of tailored and understand your unique experience a little bit more than maybe the general services. So ask your GP about it, but maybe your GP doesn't know, and that's fine. You can always look it up. Look at Google, look for specialised services that relate to you and your experience, and just reach out. Usually if you're in a remote area, a lot of these services will still do telehealth or be able to support you virtually. So I'd encourage you to kind of look for specialised services that might, meet your needs better than general services. It is hard, right? Often, especially for guys, having these sort of conversations is out of what might be normal or typical for them and their mates. So there's a few things to consider that can make having this conversation, I guess, a little bit easier for you. The first thing is consider where and when you do it, right? 10 beers deep at the pub on a Friday night is probably not the best time to have this conversation. So think about when and where you do it. Maybe you ask your mate if they're free on a Sunday afternoon to get a coffee. You want a place where maybe it feels a bit more private, where they feel a bit more comfortable, and ideally where there hasn't been substances like alcohol or drugs taken. So set and setting. When are you going to have this conversation? It's important to think about. And then when it comes to initiating the conversation, some people find it helpful to just kind of stick to what they've observed. So maybe, you could say, I've noticed you haven't been, coming to our social events as much, or I've noticed you've been a bit more worked up about your job. It's hard to argue with objective things that you notice. So you could start with that and then just ask an open question. I wanted to check, how have you been doing, or what's been going on for you? At first, they might struggle to answer, but just kind of be there, listen non-judgmentally, be an ear to listen to, and hopefully, they'll start to open up a little bit more. And you don't have to be their counsellor, fix things for them, be overly empathetic. Just let them know that you're here for them at any point, you're here to listen. If they want some extra support, you'll be there for them.